Oh, it's not a stuffed Jamie head, is it?
Dicky's little pink one is.
It's tiny. It's a lovely fab
It's a lovely fab one.
Look at that.
That's sweet.
Yes. So a big welcome to Rosalyn Landor.
We are going to lunch.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
It's the Gerry Anderson podcast.
It is.
Yeah. It's been a while, isn't it?
It has, since we were all sat around this table together. Yes.
Isn't it nice? And welcome to our wonderful Podsterons, our viewers and listeners who are joining us for the Gerry Anderson podcast. Chris,
Yes.
why are we here?
Well, we're here to talk about all things Gerry Anderson,
Who was?
who was his daddy.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
Just about, yes.
Yeah. We're celebrating his legacy, decades of entertainment on film and TV. Favourite shows include...
Secret Service.
Or,
He went straight for the Secret Service.
why
Yes.
not? Terrorhawks.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm going to say Space Precinct.
Of course,
Yeah.
yes. And literally nothing else.
Other Anderson shows are available.
That's right.
Indeed, yeah.
But not only that, but of course we are celebrating the continuing legacy of Gerry Anderson. And I know there has been some news in the sort of popular press over the last few months about Hit Squad, for example, that we can talk about.
we can talk about that.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about it now. And if you don't know about that, well, you can just Google it because we haven't got time to go through it now.
We're going to tell you about it, but we're not going to tell you about
Well, no,
it.
it's nice to lay little hints, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. What else do we have coming up in the Gerry Anderson universe in 2026?
Well,
Wow.
there's
question.
a Blu-ray that's going to be announced in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes. Great.
And then there's another Blu-ray which will
Another
be
Blu-ray.
announced a little bit further on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there might be another one after that. There's another two.
Brilliant.
There's a lot
What?
of home entertainment
Yes.
coming your way.
Yes.
Well,
we were at a place yesterday, weren't we? We were looking at things.
were you?
Yes.
That sounds exciting.
Previously unseen sort of things.
Kind of, yes.
Certainly unseen at the
On
in the way we were
Blu-ray.
looking at them.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
it's a secret.
Yes.
All right, fine. But we have to talk about the Thunderbirds Blu-ray box set, which has hit everyone's doormats over the last couple of weeks and months
Yes.
and is delightful.
Going down very well,
Yes.
which is a great relief to all of us.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well done you. Well done you. Well done everyone. Not me. I wasn't involved, but
You're
everyone
enjoying
else.
it, though,
Well,
aren't you?
I'm very much enjoying
I
it.
would say particular congratulations to Chris Dale and to Joe Spray, who does not
Yes.
appear on the podcast but may listen. And if not, then he'll miss this moment of praise.
Yes.
Well,
it's
what a great
the only
shame.
one we've
Tough.
ever mentioned
Yeah.
here.
So what? Great. So that's, well, hints of things to come in the future. But what do we have to look forward to in this month's podcast? Well, we will shortly be hearing from you, our Podsterons, because you have been emailing in your droves at podcast@gerryanderson.com.
They
The whole
always
drove
do,
emailing.
yes. They have even been sending piles of mysterious
Yes,
goodies.
we'll come to
which we
that
will get
shortly.
to, yes.
Absolutely. That's very exciting. New things have arrived on the
In
desk
the
for us
meantime,
to unwrap.
guess what this might be, Podsterons? Because
And if you're only listening,
No.
then here's a clue.
Do you know people who pay good money for that sort of thing?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
What is it, AMSR or something? Is it?
ASMR.
ASMR. What does it stand for?
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
okay, let us know. Podcast@gerryanderson.com. What does ASMR stand for? We need to know. Can't be bothered. We also, now I understand that when this episode drops on Sunday, the something of
8th
March.
of March is International Women's Day.
So how appropriate that we have one of our greatest and most respected film and TV actors, Rosalyn Landor, joining us.
an international woman.
Yes,
For
for
the
our
day.
interview. Oh, I mean, international, absolutely. Star of things like Star Trek: The Next Generation, The Devil Rides Out, Sherlock Holmes, Doctor Who and the Brain Drain, a massive, big success for Big Finish. I don't know if you've heard of that. We'll be talking about all of that with our guest Rosalyn a bit later on. But I think it's time we open the door, muffle up against the draft,
Muffle.
and let in those pesky Podsterons.
Not that cold.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Yes, it's the voice of the Podsterons. It's the part of the podcast where we literally give the floor to our, what we call Podsterons.
Yeah,
Our viewers and
that's you
listeners.
guys.
Yes, who've been emailing us at podcast@gerryanderson.com. Chris, do you want to take the first one there?
Yes, indeed. This one is from Nathan Simpson.
Oh, yes.
Who says, Dear Gerry Anderson podcast team.
Right.
Hello.
That's
Yeah.
us then.
I hope this email finds you well.
Yeah, he's the back twinge recently, but apart from that, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But thanks for asking. Pretty good.
I recently noticed a peculiar and delightful connection between Stingray and the 1950s NBC cartoon series The Gumby Show, and I felt compelled to share it with you.
No.
Specifically, it involves the episode The Cool Caveman.
Right.
That's the Stingray episode. There's a shot where Troy Tempest says, Say, what am I talking about? What old man? And in the background, you can clearly see the duvet he's lying on.
Oh, well, there's his duvet there, yes.
At first glance, this seems like just another set detail.
That's what I was going to say.
But then I realised that Troy's duvet looks almost identical to one used in a classic Gumby short from the 1950s. There's Gumby in his head.
I mean,
Yes.
Great.
Now, I'm
Okay.
not sure to what extent Gumby is known outside of the States.
Yeah.
But yes, he's a little plasticine character, kind of like an American equivalent to Morph, I guess.
I see. Right. Yeah.
Yes, in this short, Gumby is in bed.
Here he is.
Having just said goodnight to his parents, Gumba and Gumbo. Jamie's really happy he came to
Right.
Slough to watch.
We should put this on the randomizer.
Yes. The resemblance is uncanny, especially if you look at the geometric patterns and the little diamond motifs.
Yes, true.
For reference,
I'll let you finish before I pick this to pieces.
okay. For reference, the documentary Gumby Dharma features a clip at 19 minutes 11 seconds that shows this very short.
There you go.
Frame by frame, Troy's bedding matches Gumby's almost perfectly. It's hard to imagine this being a coincidence. The pattern, the colours, even the way it drapes over the bed all line up. It makes you wonder whether the Stingray designer had a secret admiration for early American clay animation. PWOR, that's from Nathan Simpson.
Well,
Stingray fan and Gumby fan.
I have to say, that's part of a much longer and much more detailed email from Nathan. I'm sorry we don't have the time or the space to read it all out,
Gosh.
but he also found similarities in the dialogue between Gumby and Stingray, and other similarities of set dressing and so on in that particular scene.
Okay.
So there's much more to this than meets the eye.
Well,
Okay.
we'll have to do some more Gumby diving.
I mean, my main issue is one of orientation, which you may not have noticed, but I'm pretty sure that the pattern on the bedspread did not match, and in fact was rotated by 45 degrees,
And
making it
fighting
go from
words.
squares to diamonds. So, Nathan, I hate to pick holes in your argument.
Well, but if there was anyone to pick holes in your argument, Nathan, Jamie's the man to do
I
it.
don't think
Because
he
he's
is.
like that.
I'm totally unqualified to do so, but it's feeling like a stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I mean, I
we'll
think
have to
that this
see.
is worth celebrating with the fact that Chris used the phrase Gumby diving.
Yes. Yes.
Never heard that
You
before.
should get that on a
Deep dive
t-shirt,
into the
Chris.
wonderful world of Gumby. Yes.
But thank you for that, Nathan.
Yes,
all
thanks,
your
Nathan.
points were generously accepted and refuted.
No,
By
I
Mr.
just
Anderson.
provided a counter, that was all.
Would you like to read the next email, Jamie?
It's from Jane Ann Liston.
Yeah.
Jane Ann Liston writes, Dear Jamie, Chris and Richard,
Hooray!
In that order.
in that order.
Mm.
When you asked last year what Thunderbirds we would all like to see to mark the 60th anniversary, I suggested a Lady Penelope doll
Right.
with some of the different outfits that she wore in the programme.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a film of Sylvia Anderson saying that there would be a doll in the 1960s, and I think there was.
I think
wasn't
there was, yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen some pictures of it. Alas, although we got the splendid Thunderbird 5, we did not get a Lady Penelope.
Disappointment.
So,
Dear, dear.
I had to resort to buying one from Japan.
Oh, okay.
You'll see that according to the photographs in the box, the three outfits were featured on either the small or large screen.
Now that's not from the 60s. That's
from the 90s.
90s or 2000s.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see.
Carlton Day.
Yeah,
Oh, look,
from
does
the,
that say born in 2039 at the bottom there?
Yep.
That's interesting. Is that canon? It is now.
Well, there
Hmm.
was. Some people say 2065.
I see.
Some
Yes,
people
here we
say
go.
2026.
Okay.
It's a long and bloody feud that
Yes.
has raged for.
I don't think there's any call for that sort of
and-
language.
Well, some
Yeah.
people feel very passionately about the Thunderbirds aesthetic.
Clearly.
Yes.
yes. But there you go. That's yes. I mean, it is a Japanese product, but it's from the
From
late-
2003.
Oh, there you go, from 2003.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can tell from that lovely blue TARDIS roundel packaging design, which they insisted on around that time.
I'm sure there was one in the 60s.
Yes,
Quite
there was definitely
similar, yeah.
one. And we did, Jane Ann Liston, investigate doing something like that for the 60th anniversary. We spoke
Yeah.
to whoever the manufacturers of Cindy are rather than Barbie.
Mattel?
I don't know.
I
Is that
don't know.
right?
Oh.
Anyway, the Cindy people.
We both said it, so it must be right.
You're
Our
correct.
Cindy and Barbie collecting days are well behind us, unfortunately.
Yes.
Speak yourself.
Well, yes, from Gumby diving to Cindy diving. So we had those conversations, but sadly, they didn't take us up on the offer, and so there
Oh.
were no Lady P dollies for the 60th.
Oh.
But I'm glad you managed to get one anyway.
Yes. Yes, well done you, exactly. This one is from Steve with 3 E's. That's 2 in the middle and 1 at the end.
Of course.
Hi, YouTube Sarons. On New Year's Day in London, myself, Ezra, Hannah, and Tessa took part in the annual parade. This year was their 40th anniversary, and we represented Alan, Virgil, Gordon, and Scott. Sadly,
Nice.
John was busy on Thunderbird 5.
Of course.
Robert, who is a fellow Podsteron, played Uncle Albert from Only Fools and Horses. And look, there's a sort of a shot of the
Oh,
screen
nice. That
showing
is
them
brilliant.
information.
Brilliant.
Isn't that lovely? We paraded as part of the Heroes for Charity group, who collectively raised £4,000 for Great Ormond Street Hospital.
That's terrific.
Well done, you.
Excellent
Absolutely.
work.
The group leader was pleased with our efforts, and it was a pleasure to bring joy to the thousands of spectators. It was a cold but enjoyable day. All the best for 2026, Steve. Isn't that lovely?
You all
Well
look
done,
great.
guys.
You all look
Great.
amazing. Yeah.
Keep it up, please.
Well done. We love it when our Podsterons do good things, and they do a lot of good things and good works, don't they? Raise money and sometimes just raise a smile, which is almost as important.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, after all.
What are we raising money for? Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Now, Chris.
Yes, our final message.
Yes, is it anything to do with the pile of goodies
I
on the?
suspect it might be.
let's
yes.
hope so.
Yes. This last message is from Jen Whitby. Who
Hooray.
says, "Hi guys."
Oh,
Very
jazz hands.
good.
Back at us, a call back there.
It
Yes.
really is, yeah.
I'm writing to let you know I've sent a little parcel to you guys and hope that it arrives safely at the Moxie Slough.
Yes, it
It
has.
did. Yes, it did. Thank you. In celebration of the Thunderbird 60th anniversary, I wanted to make you something.
Oh.
Despite starting in June 2025, I think I overestimated myself.
What?
I couldn't find the patterns that I needed. Had to
Oh,
adapt patterns from a different craft type. Ended up creating the one wrapped in black from scratch and endured bouts of illness.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yes. And so Thunderbirds Day became Christmas, which became, ta-da, a belated Christmas present.
Well, we'll take it.
Rather like the Thunderbirds Blu-ray, in fact.
Perfect. Very
Perfect
fitting.
analogy,
Very
yes.
fitting, Jen. Yes.
I would be grateful if you open them in the following order.
Right,
we do
come
have
on
an
then.
order here. So who wants to be the first one to open
Jamie?
one of these?
Okay.
Go on then.
Okay.
What's first?
Black is first.
Right.
Oh.
Can you reach over
Now,
and...
do we want to make a guess at what these are beforehand?
Well,
Because
we're
I'm detecting a spectrum colour
Yes.
scheme here.
Oh, yes. Well, I thought it actually was a Thunderbird craft.
Oh, could be. could
Yeah, I
be.
mean, I think especially with the little pink one, which
this
is
may be
down
Captain
here.
Black, though, I'm guessing. So maybe
Real
that's...
black, scarlet, green.
Yeah,
blue.
come on, there's only one way to find out.
Anticipation is
Okay.
killing me, even though I can see it from here.
Well, this is lovely, and it's about the size of my head for those listening.
Oh, it's not a stuffed Jamie head, is it?
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh,
That is lovely.
It is a
Oh,
felt?
yes.
Felt
Felt
Thunderbird
stuffed
5.
Thunderbird 5.
Wow.
And look at the detail there.
Wow.
That is incredible. All the antennas and everything.
Lovely
Amazing.
docking tube. For,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
absolutely there.
Yes.
That is amazing,
Wow.
Jen.
Beautiful.
Well, okay, so if that's 5.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. Pop that on the table. This
The
is our new
next
set
one-
dressing, I
The
think.
next one is yellow.
Yellow. Can that be me?
All right.
Okay, somewhat smaller. Smaller and yellow. This is so exciting and so lovely. It's a little Thunderbird 4. Look at that.
That is great.
Beautiful.
Such attention to detail on these. It's
Yes,
incredible.
really lovely. And the thing doesn't come off like it does in the actual toy. Not the new ones.
You hasten to add.
Lovely.
What a
Next.
lovely Thunderbird
Wow,
4.
next up is red.
Go on,
That's
Chris.
nice to me,
That should be
so I'm
Chris.
going to go for that one.
Yes.
Ooh.
Jen, you've,
I think we've detected the pattern.
I think we might have
you've
done.
done something very special.
There we go.
Really special. Look at that.
3.
Thunderbird
How
3.
lovely.
And if you're only listening, they've all come beautifully wrapped in coloured tissue paper with bubble wrap internally to
Yes.
make sure that they maintain their structural integrity.
Yeah,
Damage
indeed.
them, 'cause that's quite
So
thin
clever.
Tubing. Oh, look at that.
What a lovely
Beautiful.
Thunderbird 3.
Okay, next. Come on, Ross, you dive in. Next colour.
Well, next is green.
Come on then.
I wonder what that could be.
Reach over.
Oh,
Blocking all the shots.
That's all right. God, we've got a nice close one here, though.
yeah, there you go. Oh, what's Ross
There you
got?
go, Ross.
Ross has got
I got the
Thunderbird
best one.
2.
Oh.
Oh, with
Look,
fold-out wings.
Thunderbird
Yes.
2.
And does it look like the pod detaches?
Come out.
Oh.
Yes.
Jen.
Hot one.
Not only that. Oh, there's chocolate in it.
Oh.
Amazing. Okay, well, this
Brilliant.
is just surprise after surprise from
thank
Jen.
you.
Well done. Give a thumbs up to this camera, Ross, just for Jen. There you go.
Nice work.
Great.
Okay.
Next.
Well, I think it's going to be the blue one next.
It keeps coming, doesn't it?
Should we do the blue one jointly?
I have to say to our other listeners and viewers, gifts are not expected,
No, they are
but
very
always appreciated.
Yes, as is money.
Of course.
Thunderbird 1 has got moving wings,
That's
Wow.
which is pretty impressive.
That's pretty
And
The
amazing.
got
whole paneling on that
panel
as well. That
lines.
is incredible.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, you can see why it's taken since June.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
extraordinary.
I'm trying to stand Thunderbird 1 up. There we go.
There we
It's
are.
up.
And finally,
Last one, yes.
a little
last but not
pink one.
least.
it's got to be, hasn't it?
Dickie's little pink one is.
It's tiny. It's a lovely fab
It's a lovely fab one.
Look at that.
Sweet.
Oh,
Oh.
that is great.
Absolutely incredible. Fine works of art.
Indeed.
Gosh.
Yes, the attention to detail on these is just mind-boggling.
Yes. So Jen, thank you.
Yes.
You've outdone yourself.
I'm-
all of us.
I'm sort of speechless, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think going forward, we should certainly have these as part of our table dressing, shouldn't we? Because
Yes, I think
they're
so.
absolutely
Yes.
delicious.
Delicious.
Delightful. Sorry, pink,
He's thinking
sweet.
about the chocolate
Yeah.
in Thunderbird 2.
Oh, it must be that. Yeah. Oh, and added gifts inside gifts.
Yeah, extraordinary. Well done, Jen. Thank you so
Brilliant.
much. Very much appreciated. I have to
Yes.
say,
Oh, we have to test. Does Thunderbird 3 dock
Oh.
inside Thunderbird
of
5?
course.
Oops.
Hey, it works.
The answer is yes, with a little
With a
gentle
bit of
sag.
Yes.
droopy.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Now, you don't all have to send us your gifts, of course, but what you can do to please all three of us, and even Ross, who's very difficult to please, is to email us at podcast@gerryanson.com. Also, to subscribe on our podcast YouTube channel. Tell all your friends about us on all your social media channels, if you're still on social media. If not, just spread the word. And Jamie, thank you very much for joining us with Voice of the Podsterons.
No,
But
it's been a
coming
pleasure.
up, Chris and I are going to talk to the wonderful Rosalyn Landor. Stay tuned. Rosalyn Landor was a sought-after child actress, known in the UK for her appearances in such things as The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Rumpole of the Bailey, besides much more. Then she conquered America in the 1980s with appearances in Star Trek Next Generation and Hunter, before returning to the UK in 2013.
That's right.
And she's recorded over 250 audiobooks, for which...
It's more than that.
Yes, it must be.
It's about 500 now.
And award-winning as well.
Yes, which was lovely.
Of course. So a big welcome to Rosalyn Landor.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Gerry Anderson podcast.
I'm very delighted to be here.
Now, of course, I should put this up front, I suppose. We have worked together before.
Yeah, I've worked for you.
Oh, well,
Oh.
that's a nice way of putting it, isn't it?
Well, that's how I see it.
Yes, so this was a big Finnish production called Doctor Who and the Brain Drain, in which you played Abigail MacLeod
I was Scottish.
with a fantastic
With a
Scottish
Scottish accent.
Absolutely.
And I did a really bad scream, which had the entire tech room in hysterics. I don't know what I did, but I went way over the top.
Yeah, that's
as usual.
hilarious. That's right. But the reason we sort of got hold of you for the podcast, if you remember this, was a year or so ago. We watched Crossroads to Crime.
Oh, we watched the whole film, didn't we?
We did.
Yes,
That's
for
right.
our sins.
That's it. And we put it out on the podcast as we normally do, but copyright restrictions meant that we couldn't show it on our YouTube channel. So we put it all up on X, as it is now.
Okay.
You saw it, commented on it, and retweeted it.
Say.
I can't remember, but you were very enthusiastic
Yes.
about
Oh,
Crossroads to
yes,
Crime.
I
yes.
love film. That's my,
Yeah.
my thing.
So tell us about Crossroads to Crime, just to nudge Ros's memory.
Well, it's a Gerry Anderson film from the late 50s, possibly 1960 actually.
Yeah.
Right.
About a policeman who gets involved with, I think it's hijacking a shipment of cigarettes from a truck,
Yes.
and they're operating out of a diner. And
That's
it's all-
right.
I probably would have
Very
said something
much.
that I didn't realise they had done live action.
Yes.
Because the only thing I had known was the puppetry.
Exactly right.
Till we get to UFO,
Yes, that's right. That's
to
exactly
which
it.
I am addicted.
Ah, well,
That's nice.
That.
how
But-
interesting.
but I-
Crossroads to Crime, not everybody's favourite Anderson. I don't think anyone's favourite Anderson. And yet you
Harsh.
seem to enjoy us three
Well, yes, no, I love
idiots
Well,
rambling
it's
on
because you
about
were
it.
giggling. That's it. It was because you kept pointing at things and saying,
Yeah.
"Easy."
Now, prior to your joining us here today, Ros, I've asked you several questions about your Anderson knowledge, and I've
Yes.
fed all that information into the wonderful Andermeter, which is a
right.
very special contraption that we have commissioned from Brains himself over on Tracy Island.
Brilliant.
Now, you might recognise the craft there, the Thunderbird
do.
craft, 1 to 5.
Yes.
And we'll input all that information and see what score we
John.
get. John,
Oh, yes.
in Thunderbird 5.
Yes.
Ah, but can you name the pilots of the other craft?
Alan,
Very good.
Scott.
In number 1, yes, that's it. Go on, it's in there. Yeah.
I can't get that. Go on.
Virgil in Thunderbird
Virgil,
2.
that's right.
And they're all represented here. Look at our lovely felt toys.
And you
Oh,
explained to me
gorgeous.
that your fans
Yes.
have made these
Well,
Thank you
one
for-
very
Brilliant.
dedicated
Yeah,
fan.
thank you to
Yes.
Jen. That's right.
This is your
Oh,
belated Christmas
amazing.
present.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Yes.
amazing.
Let's see what you score on the Andermeter. Oh, we got up to 2. Up to 3. Oh,
No, 3.
3.
That's pretty
ah.
impressive.
Very good.
Rosalyn Landor, the Andermeter scored you a 3.
Wow. It's
Now-
very rare that we get a 3.
It is quite rare, isn't it? Yes, that's very well
But
done.
you say that to everybody.
We say it to all the girls. Now, that's not just because of your Anderson knowledge, of which I know you have some, but also your Anderson connections, and we'll be exploring a few of those as we go through our interview. Some of them you may not even know are Anderson connections. We'll wait to see.
Interesting. All right.
We'll wait and see.
I'm intrigued.
So let's have a think about young Rosalyn Landor. What are the sort of Anderson memories? Do you remember watching any particular series of his and Sylvia's?
Definitely, I start for the most part with Stingray.
Oh, yes.
And then Thunderbirds. And
Right.
On. But there's a whole sort of chunk before which I'm learning about now because
Yeah.
there are so many YouTube videos now which I can go and watch about
Yes.
various different things.
Bit of a rabbit hole, isn't it?
It is a dark well sometimes to say.
That's torchy.
yes, which I didn't know till
Yeah.
a few years ago. I didn't know about it.
That's right.
Twizzle,
Yes.
which I
Good.
didn't know until
Yes,
recently.
we'll talk about
You
that
very kindly
shortly.
explained to me. Sarah and Hopperty, which I think we've talked about
Yeah, and we'll show a clip
off
of that as
camera.
well.
That'd
That's
be
good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Which was very scary, mostly because of the fact that there were some puppets that looked quite evil
Yeah.
and weren't meant to be. But
Yeah.
there's a toy maker, and he looks like some of the really scary characters that turn up in Thunderbirds in later
Yes,
years,
I see.
and are very evil looking.
Yes.
But all the voices are totally like this.
They are.
Everybody talks
Isn't that
in this
strange?
very strangulated upper class accent. Oh, really, darling?
Yes.
You know, all of that.
That's
so,
right.
I've had an interesting, like, since I came back in 2013 and the inception of all these additions to YouTube,
Yeah.
I find on days when I have nothing better to do with my life,
Yeah.
I start into YouTube and invariably I will end up
Yeah.
with something Anderson.
Isn't that funny?
Because it's just it's familiar. I think it's
Yeah.
it's reassuring. These are things that people in my age group grew up
Yeah.
watching because there was really nothing else to watch. It was Doctor Who,
Yeah.
Thunderbirds, Stingray, if you
Yeah.
had television earlier,
Yeah.
and then going on into all the other shows that came after.
Yeah.
But the live action UFO, I didn't really start watching till I came back and was really catching up with,
Right.
DVDs and
Yes.
watching these. It's fascinating.
Amazing. So
Absolutely.
UFO 1969.
So I was at the Royal Ballet School
Okay.
and I had no television at all. I
No.
wasn't really, I wasn't allowed. I just didn't have time
Yeah.
because it was ballet, ballet, ballet.
Yeah.
And that was 3 years of my life. And then after that, I was back into regular schooling and then I could watch all the television I wanted.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes, right. You were mentioning earlier as well, before we sat down to talk, that you're part of that generation, rather like Paul McGann, who we had for our
Yes,
Christmas episode,
yes, absolutely.
where the space race was common currency, wasn't
Yep.
it? And of course, that was reflected in Gerry and Sylvia's shows in
Yes.
the 60s,
I
particularly.
was at a convention 2 or 3 years ago and there was an audience of about 40, 50 people. And at one point we started talking about the Anderson shows,
Yeah.
and I said, hands up, anybody who watched Thunderbirds. Every hand went up.
Yeah.
And there were people under 50 and 40.
Yes.
So they've
Oh, yes.
caught up with it. There's a generation of people who are now in their 20s and 30s
Yeah.
who have caught up with all of these
Yeah.
and the ones that came after.
Yeah.
Well, last year we restored a couple of episodes in 4K and put them on in the cinema. And we got more than one, we've got lots of messages about it, just saying thank you. But people saying, oh, I went and I took my parents and I took my son. And we all had, I think Jamie was telling me yesterday that he had a message from someone saying, I took my son along to watch Thunderbirds and he hadn't seen that much of it. And he said afterwards, Dad, that's my favourite thing we've ever done together.
Oh,
and
I see.
We get so
Amazing.
many cross-generational stories about Thunderbirds.
60 years later. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
but people are still going around going,
Yes.
Like
Oh,
this,
yes, that's right.
And you know, somebody at a party is eventually
Yeah,
going to
always.
do this.
Yeah, it's usually me. I think there's a great deal of disappointment amongst a certain generation that the future actually didn't turn out the way it was promised in those shows.
Although I'm intrigued about how they knew these are the planes. So all of those very modern-looking aircraft, which then became Concorde.
Yes, true.
So how did he work with people, or did they have people who designed or were involved with Hawker Siddeley or any of the airline companies?
Derek Meddings was famously the sort of effects supremo during the time with his team. Whether he had input from actual people who worked in the aerospace industry, I don't know.
I just remember seeing a newspaper cutting that came out when Thunderbirds was on, and I think it was like the FBI or the CIA watched Thunderbirds in order to
It would
gain
not. It really
secrets.
wouldn't surprise me because if you look at a lot of today's craft, particularly the wing,
that's right.
It's fascinating.
We've certainly have guests, or have had guests on the podcast who now work for NASA, ESA, the aerospace industry, who were inspired to go into those industries because they watch things like Thunderbirds. That's absolutely a thing.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
So did Gerry do you think, had an interest in
well,
what was going to look? I mean, Star Trek was all phasers. Now we have flip phones.
Yes. Well, what's interesting about Gerry's work, perhaps, is that a lot of it is family-based. You know, you have the Tracy brothers in Thunderbirds, Spectrum in Captain Scarlet, although they aren't a family. They have Colonel White as their kind of father figure, and the rest of the siblings, you know. There's a Terrorhawks, there's a lot of
Joe
that.
90.
Joe 90.
It's his dad, isn't it?
Exactly right, yeah.
Although there is that thing, particularly in Thunderbirds, of yes, technology is wonderful until it goes wrong. And then the giant
story.
machine is running away, destroying it down. And
that's exactly it. And then you have the drama.
And you have Derek Meddings back in again, throwing up his own designs.
Now, one episode of Thunderbirds in particular you mentioned to me, which I have a clip here to show you, is from Attack of the Alligators.
Brilliant.
Let's have a look. There it is. A full-size alligator.
And the music.
So clever, that's right.
it integrates so well, the puppet and the live action stuff.
The sweat.
And the sweat.
I know.
Yes, yes.
I know.
The alligators aren't sweating.
No.
I didn't notice that.
Can alligators sweat? Look at that. Incredible. So, as you say, the music doing a lot of, well, not a lot of heavy lifting. That's unfair because there's so much going on there. But that's Barry Gray, of course, who scored a lot of most of Gerry's shows.
I do have to tell you something interesting about the alligator bit.
Go on.
They got in trouble with the RSPCA.
Right. Yes.
Do you know about it? Yeah, right. So I'll say no more.
No. Tell us what you know.
No alligators died in the making.
No.
Well, didn't they, to make the alligators twist and recoil, didn't they have to do a blowtorchy job on them or
Slight
something?
electric
There was
shock.
yes, there we
Yeah.
go. Yes.
A slight electric shock.
But someone on the production allegedly dobbed them into the RSPCA,
Yes, that's,
who sent a man
that's-
round.
Yes, that's,
Yeah.
who then looked around and realised that he was on the set of Thunderbirds and was like, oh, well, I'll stay for as long as you need me and I'll supervise. And this is all fine. It's all fine.
As long as you can sign my Thunderbirds annual. Yeah, that's right.
So it was done under RSPCA supervision of the 1960s.
Yeah.
Now that's you've just mentioned something I never have had, which is an annual. Did they produce an annual during the Thunderbirds time?
And it was
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah, it was comic TV21, but yeah, there was
I didn't get one of
half a
those.
No,
dozen
really?
Thunderbirds annuals. Oh, no.
I got Thunderbird too, but I didn't.
Yeah, did you know?
Yes, except the little pieces that fired off, unfortunately, went up the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, now you were telling us
Yes,
something
yes,
rather
I was-
insightful, I thought, earlier on
Yes,
about the
the
difference
ping noises,
between
like
girls' and boys' toys.
Bing, and off they were
Yeah.
up the vacuum cleaner.
And you were saying that
Yes.
girls' toys were all about...
Yes, you put things, so Cindy and
Yeah.
Barbie, no, Tressie. There was a
Tressie.
doll called Barbie,
Yeah.
who came later, but Tressie was the British version, and she had a button in her tummy, and if you pushed the button and pulled on her ponytail, it grew.
Nice.
So
I like
was,
it.
that was that. But the Cindy dolls, they were sort of a precursor because you could dress them, and they had baskets that you put on shoes and things. But all the boy stuff, caps, guns, pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop, and all that, anything to do with the soldier dolls that came in during that period.
Yes, Action Man and so
Action
on.
Man.
Tommy Gunn, I think, was
Do
another
you
one.
know what? I wonder who did all the voiceovers for those, because we do voice. I do a lot of voice. So. And I can remember there was one that went, Action Man Patrol! Fall out! like this, but it was on a cord. You pulled a
Yeah,
cord.
brilliant.
On the
That's right. That's hilarious. Yes. And what sort of toys were you collecting? Were you sort of the girly girl, or were
No,
you?
I had more I was much more interested in all the sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
anything that was scientific. I liked sort of. Do you remember that you could get the spinning silver wheel that was on an axis, and then when it spun,
Yes.
you could go all over the
And
room.
that's it. Yes. Was it one of those that you pushed down, or
No,
no?
No, you're thinking of
the spinning top.
spinning top thing.
it's a
Yes,
different
no,
thing,
but no, I liked anything that was fascinating. I loved seeing how things could work, and that was, I think, again, strings, no strings.
Yeah, that's right. You never saw the strings.
And that was the reality. Yeah, and this is the part of the evolution of the Anderson thing.
Yeah.
That is, to me, how they managed to really elevate the art of puppetry to that degree.
Yes.
I mean, it's an extraordinary thing. And to devote your life, your work,
Yeah.
your life work to this.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
right.
abandoned it to go with people, which
But that's actually what Gerry always wanted, and it wasn't a
Really?
great success. Yes, he was famously not particularly enamoured of the puppets. And,
I wonder
really,
why.
really, he wanted to make proper drama, proper TV with with human beings. But when it came to it, it
Interesting.
wasn't as
'Cause
successful as he'd
scripts
hoped.
are actually not bad at all.
It
when you
works a
think
lot.
about- yeah.
Absolutely
Well,
right.
the writers are the same kind of writers that you would find doing things like the Avengers and the Saints and so on. And I
exactly.
think they treated
Yeah.
them like
Yeah.
adult programs
Yeah.
for the most
Yeah.
part.
And it's interesting to mention the evolution, because we'll show a clip in a moment of something you watched as a child, then we'll see a bit of Twizzle to show the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But almost series to series, there was an evolution in the techniques and the
Yes.
puppetry and so on. Different more life-sized heads, for example, and just more detail and better manipulation. So,
And as we were talking about a little bit earlier, it was about real hands in the close shots, reaching
Yes.
for something where
Yeah.
suddenly it wasn't a puppet hand anymore.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But of course, then you come to the live action stuff, and the actors always suffered with the whole headline of, you could see the strings on Martin Landau, and as wooden as the
Just
puppet.
as wooden.
I won't
Yeah.
comment. on that.
Okay, right.
I
fine.
won't add a comment.
So one thing you mentioned to me about what you were watching as a child was something I'd never heard of, but has an interesting Anderson connection, Sarah and Hopperty. Let's have a look at this. Right. Now this is colourised, but I guess your memories of black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't have colour television.
Sure.
You wind up his key, he'll sing and he'll dance all over.
Now, who was this? This was Roberta Lee's
That's right.
project.
As you'll see in a moment.
My dear old Hoppity, naughty Hoppity.
Naughty Hopperty.
There is no toy.
So Hoppity was a toy who told Sarah to do naughty things,
Yes,
if I remember.
and I
she
think
did
the
them.
reason I identified with this was because I didn't have a sibling till I was 7,
Ah, yes.
and this was on when I was probably 4.
Right.
So I sort of graduated from the wooden tops at that point and Helen Ben.
Yeah,
And this
that's
was
it.
a story. But you can hear, actually, if you replay that, it's all this terribly
I know. And yes,
1950s.
Yeah, but it's
films.
also the tone of the stories and the sort of lessons that the kids have to learn. It's very
Yes.
sort of authoritarian 1950s.
Absolutely.
It's like the
Absolutely.
children must be punished.
but in a way that was seen as the role of TV, wasn't it? To
Yeah.
instill values or
There is a wonderful documentary called The Golden Age of Television, which is all about children's television. So we did have things. I was not aware of Muppet the Mule,
Muffin the Mule,
Muffin-
yes.
sorry,
that's
Muffin
it.
the Mule.
Yeah.
and
Oh, right.
I do vaguely remember Ollie the Owl and the lady who presented for Rediffusion.
Right.
That's what a name, Rediffusion.
Yeah.
When you actually think about that as a word,
Yes.
rediffusion is
Yeah.
fascinating. But Sarah and Hopperty, to me, was, I think I identified with, because I had invisible friends. And apparently...
Well, I noticed that with you today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, quite.
The thing about Sarah and Hopperty, as you said, is that he's naughty and he wants her to do bad, naughty things. And she goes along with it. So apparently, any time anything got broken or I had done something that my mother didn't approve of,
Ah,
I would say it's
yes, I
And this is a thing I gather that a lot of only children do invent.
Right.
Friends who are invisible because, imaginative times of you're 2-3 years old and you aren't at preschool and you're not in a play group,
Yeah.
you're alone.
Well, how interesting. Is that also the key to why you became an actor then?
Apparently, I rehearsed. I would go and stand. It always made them laugh. I would go and stand in a corner and say, and I'd say, "Can I please have a biscuit?" So I
You
think
rehearse
I
it.
did. I think I started. And apparently, I used to throw my bottle out of the pram just to watch people come and pick it up and give it back, and I'd wait till they went and throw it again. And I did entertain relatives. I would dress up. My mother had long gloves, and I remember putting on. And for some reason, she'd kept not only her wedding dress, but she had an evening dress. And they were the only two fancy bits of clothing that she ever possessed.
Yeah.
But I used to be allowed to dress up.
Right.
So I think, and I had
There
a
you
Pelham
go.
Puppet Theatre,
Ah, yes.
which was an amazing present, and I had a fairy puppet. So
Yeah.
I would dress up, and it would be my presentation for the evening.
Amazing.
Lord knows. I don't
That's
know.
wonderful. Yeah, incredible.
But
Pelham Puppets, yeah.
that definitely
Lovely.
was a very seminal moment in my life. Sarah and Hopperty
Yes.
both terrified me, and somehow, as I said, I think I identified
Well,
with that.
interesting. Now, so we'll now show a bit of an Anderson connection here, which Chris will explain after we've seen this clip. That's it. You'll notice once we get into the action, a lot of similarities with Sarah and Hopperty. There's Roberta Lee. That's it.
And foot soap. Now that I don't remember.
The cat.
So the
Don't-
cat.
didn't remember that bit.
I think this is the only surviving episode. Is that
Yeah,
right?
52 episodes, and this is the only one that survives, as far as we know.
So here we have the shop again, as we saw in Sarah and Hopperty. So it's a very similar opening, isn't it? The voice, yeah. Do you know who this is, Chris?
Oh, I feel like I should do.
Yeah.
It might be Roberta herself, possibly.
Ah,
In its window were toys and dolls of every kind. On a shelf,
and here we are in the shop.
Yes. With Twizzle and
See,
all his
that's
friends.
a no-no toy.
Of course. Yeah.
I believe that came back in Torchy. I think they reused the puppet
Ah.
in Torchy.
Really?
Yeah.
So, Chris, can you explain the Roberta Lee, Gerry Anderson connection?
Well,
for us?
Roberta Lee was a writer who came to Gerry with scripts for Twizzle and said, I want your company to make these, and they made them. And I guess she was happy enough with what they did with Twizzle that she came back for Torchy.
Yeah.
And then after
Wow.
Torchy, there was a bit of a split because I think they were getting a bit fed up of the way Roberta was working, but also they wanted to do their own thing. So they split off from her to do Fall for the Falls. And they shot a pilot in their, is it Islet Park?
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
yes,
where
in
they filmed
Maidenhead, yes.
Torchy and Twizzle, and then they sort of decamped in the middle of the night to just get away from Roberta Lee.
And I think, am I right in saying it was quite an acrimonious parting of the ways?
Yes. There's footage of an interview with Roberta in later years when she's saying that Gerry was a very evil man
Oh, dear.
for some reason or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never quite
She
got to the
wasn't-
bottom of it.
Yeah, she wasn't beloved by the crew. So, yeah, when they went to do Fall for the Falls, I think a lot of them were quite relieved to be past that now
Yeah.
and doing
Now
something.
that is a name or a title I don't know.
No? Fall for the Falls.
Don't know it at
yes.
all.
You will know Nicholas Parsons, of course.
Yes.
Who
Yes.
voiced the lead character, Tex Tucker, the sheriff.
It's a western,
No
and
idea.
the lead character has 4 magic feathers in his hat,
Right.
2 of which allow his guns to fire automatically, 1 allows his horse to speak, and 1 allows his dog to speak. It's very good. Much better than Twizzle and
Why
Torchy.
don't I? So what years was
Um,
are we talking about that?
59, 60.
Yeah, very early days.
So
Really
yeah,
worth
I
a
was only
look.
so I was yeah.
Yeah. But they're on YouTube. I mean, they're
But
worth
that's
a look.
interesting because Twizzle. So you're saying that came after Twizzle?
Yes, Twizzle, Torchy, and Fall for the Falls. Although I think Torchy and Fall for the Falls may have premiered the same day.
Oh.
I think that's right. Or maybe the same year.
But first, we're sort of talking 57, 58, and 59, are we then? Sort of around?
Production years, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Yes,
a bit before your
didn't know
time,
that.
even.
Well, I'm thinking that somehow it could have been a time schedule thing,
Oh, yeah.
or that maybe it was only shown, say, in the rediffusion area rather than
Yeah.
Could be a
Yes.
regional
what would have
thing,
been
yeah.
ITV.
Yes.
When did it become ITV? That's all.
Oh, much, much later.
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it?
what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
That's
So
right,
it
yeah.
was rediffusion and ATV, wasn't it?
That's it. I see, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Ros, you started acting professionally then, age 7. So going
Yes.
from dressing up with your mum's
Yes.
clothes to being paid for it. How did that happen, and what was your first experience, if you remember?
Right, so very briefly,
Yeah.
my father had been in the Royal Navy. I think he must have been in the entertainment group at some point, and this is World War II. I thought that
Yeah.
so it was entertaining the
I
troops
see.
type thing, and I think got the acting bug. So he came back to England. He was meant to have been a quantity surveyor.
Huh?
decided he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be with the lights and the action and the camera.
Yeah.
And ended up at the Old Vic.
Oh,
So he was a very good friend with Richard Burton,
wow.
who later came into my life, as you now know.
Wow.
And not long thereafter, he started actually working with the BBC and the Overseas Service. He was doing radio newsreel. And sort of, it seems to me that he wore quite a few different hats just in a very quick space of time.
Yeah.
Went on broadcasting for the rest of his life here and there, did different things for Radio 4, but he also became a theatrical agent.
Right.
And the connection to Doctor Who, my earliest connection is Jenny Linden,
Oh, yes.
who he represented.
He was in the films, I think.
He was
Did
in-
Pushing Films?
Yes, I believe.
That's
he
right.
was, yes.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of his clients thereafter were in all kinds of episodic stuff of the 60s. So I watch things like The Avengers. I wouldn't be at all surprised if somebody one of his clients voiced something for Thunderbirds
Yeah.
or things thereafter. I do believe somebody was in UFO, one of his clients was in UFO.
Yeah.
And because of that, he was contacted by a casting agent who was looking for a little girl to play the daughter in a film that was to be called The Devil Rides Out, which was a Hammer horror.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and auditioned. And as chatty as you know me now to be,
Yeah.
I was very chatty with them. And they were highly amused and
Yes.
decided to cast me
Great.
for their troubles.
Perfect.
So I ended up working over at Elstree.
Ah.
And my favourite memory of working at Elstree, aside from being in The Devil Rides Out and the lovely people who were in it, is that I ended up sitting at lunch one day next to Diana Rigg and Pat McNee.
Wow. Yeah.
Because they were having their lunch and they were
Yeah.
sitting chatting. And I said to my mother, "That lady is so beautiful." And my mother said, "It's all right. If you would like to go and say hello to her, it's all right. You can go and do that."
Lovely.
So I trot over to her table
Yeah.
and I say, "I think you're very beautiful." And many, many years later, I was narrating an audiobook in London. And Diana came to the same office and I told her this story and she just said, "What a lovely memory."
Oh.
And it was lovely because it was not long after that she passed away.
Yeah.
So I was really happy I got
Gosh,
to
that's
finish
really
that
nice,
episode.
isn't it?
But yeah, it was lovely.
That's right.
And
Amazing.
she was amazing and gorgeous.
Yeah.
And of course I hadn't watched The Avengers. That was not something
No, of course.
my age group at 7 I was going to watch.
That's right.
But years later I realised, oh, that's the lady I spoke
Yeah.
to.
And was that the start of a fairly busy period, or was it kind of sporadic for
No,
those early
sporadic
years?
because
Yeah.
they were very insistent that I kept at school.
Yeah.
So from 7 to 10, I didn't work.
Yeah.
And then at 10, I was in what was shown in America as a television film, but here was released theatrically,
Yeah.
which was a Jane Eyre.
Ah, right.
And
Yeah.
I played Helen Burns. So I died in a lot of things that I was in as a child because I was quite skinny. So I think a lot of the time they put me into Victorian costume.
Wow. You
and
die of the consumption.
Always. Yes, that was it.
Lots of
Always.
coughing and blood on handkerchiefs and things like that.
Yes, two. It's so funny. I'm going to sort of
Yeah.
come back and forth.
Sure.
I was in a very wonderful play. It was a televised play with Sir Ben Kingsley. And I played his wife at age 14. And this was Edgar Allan Poe's story.
Yes.
And he played Edgar Allan Poe.
Ah.
And I played Virginia. And I'm not sure how to say this politely. I had a voluminous Victorian skirt.
Right.
And there was a man underneath it,
Right.
by my feet, hidden by the skirt. Virginia Poe had consumption. And it took her, I think, at 15 or 16 years of age. She was very
Gosh,
young when
yeah.
she passed away.
Mm.
And it played into his dramatic,
Yeah.
poetic
Yeah.
darkness.
Yeah.
And Kensington Gore,
Yes.
in a plastic tub,
Yes.
a big plastic tub, and a tube that went under my skirt, up over my waist, down my arm, into the palm of my hand, sellotaped here. And at the appropriate moment, he's playing a piano and I'm standing beside him singing The Last Rose of Summer. And I suddenly had to go like this, put my hand up for the hydrant. The guy was pumping this so fast that what came out was like this. And
Brilliant.
Ben fell off the piano stool because it shocked him so.
Cut!
Yes, that's
Hilarious.
so.
Gosh.
That's my.
Yeah.
Blood.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
there
That's
you go.
very good.
And
Wow.
there's an Anderson connection. Someone
Yes.
you've worked with there.
Ben Kingsley.
was later the Hood in the Thunderbirds movie in
No.
2004.
Oh, yes, he was.
He
Of course
was,
he
yes.
was.
Directed by Jonathan Frakes, of
Directed by
course.
Jonathan
Another
Frakes, yes.
connection.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Wow.
You've
Talking
worked
of
with
Anderson connections,
Yes.
here's another one for your consideration. Leo McKern.
Lovely Leo.
Yeah. So we'll talk about his Anderson connection in a moment. But what was your experience of working on Rumpole of the Bailey?
Loved him.
Yeah.
They were all, this is the wonderful thing that I can say about my life, and it's nice to be able to say it aloud
Yeah.
for posterity, is that almost all of my career I have loved being with the people I've been with.
Mm-hmm.
I have explained to you I never trained,
Yeah.
so I started work at 7
Yeah.
and just went on when,
Well, that's your training,
you
isn't
know,
it?
I'd go for auditions, and if I got it, yes, and that's why people like this, all these wonderful adults that I worked with as a child and have very fond memories of, they all talked without even realising it. And again, and I say to younger actors today, if they want to really have the best acting lesson ever, watch Spencer Tracy, watch Cary Grant, watch that 50s to 60s who were theatrical actors. I'm not saying Cary Grant was a theatre actor, but these are all people, particularly the British lot, who came from a theatrical background, were not movie stars, didn't really aspire to be...
Didn't have the looks, the matinee
didn't
looks.
necessarily, exactly.
Necessarily, yeah.
And had this extraordinary gift of Shakespeare training, which most of them did have, but also that understanding of what it was to impart to an audience. And that's something that I think we miss today. I'm not sure I see a lot of that. Hollywood has its place.
Yeah.
But I think that sort of extraordinary catalogue of character actors that we had, the Ealing comedies, of the, and I hate to say it's black and white. My kids say I live in black and white, but basically
Well, why not?
it's true, because I think a lot of that, and all the characters, you have Margaret Rutherford. There's nobody like her.
No.
There's nobody that has inherited that mantle, to my mind.
No.
I haven't ever seen anybody
True.
that is, and these were all individual. I mean, nobody like Leo.
Nobody like Leo McKern. Absolutely right. And his Anderson connection is in a series which I know you're just discovering, Space 1999. So let's have
So what did he
a
do
look
in
at
that?
this. This was an episode we watched previously on the Randomiser.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry to leave me behind the worst.
This is one of those clips that makes no sense out of context and actually very little sense in context.
Except he gets his close up.
Always, of course.
But he's also playing double roles in this because he's also the voice of this spaceship that they're standing in.
Yeah, so he was kept very busy during this show. But a great face
Think of me as my
and a great
best.
voice.
Australian.
Was he? No, I didn't know
leave
that.
you
No, interesting.
to his dreadful
And off he pops. Ah, there we go.
I have to ask, because I haven't gone looking. But
Yeah.
are there ever outtakes from that show?
There is one.
Because there'd be no sense of humour. There could not have
No.
been. I'm sure anytime anybody did anything, they just sort of
It is very
didn't.
sterile, isn't it? Very dry. But as a child, I have to say, watching it in the 70s, because I do remember watching it, that was
Yes.
what fascinated me. This was the future. People were no longer emotional and,
Oh, how interesting!
it was all logical and sterile and clean. Everything was clean, and that really did appeal to me.
Right.
And it's also the last, as far as they know, they are the last humans potentially. Everyone on Earth could be dead for all they know.
Yeah.
So it's, very much life
Right.
and death and deadly serious.
Yeah.
For the first series anyway.
That's right. We had a message, because obviously the Gerry Anderson brand is prolific on all sorts of social media. We had a message on our Facebook page saying, I loved Ros in Rumpole of the Bailey.
Oh,
So
that's
there you
lovely.
go, just to call back there to our previous conversation. So how long was
Yes.
your engagement on
I was on that show for I think a year and a half, 2 years. Because
Wow.
we didn't record all of them at once,
Ah.
so it sort of spanned into 2. And then I was off to do a film, and Abigail McKern, Leo's daughter,
Yeah.
took over. I played Fiona always, and she took over, and I actually don't know what her character name was.
Right.
But then, I was on to then starting a film a proper film career. So
Yes.
I wasn't in England anymore.
Now,
And I missed him. He was so lovely. Yeah. he was lovely.
he's magnificent in Olivier's King Lear. He plays Gloucester.
Yes,
I mean,
so I hear, and I have not watched that.
I'll send you the DVDs.
I will definitely.
Worth a look.
And also a fabulous number 2 in The Prisoner.
Of course, he was in The Prisoner.
Oh, yes,
That's
he
right.
was. Yes,
Yes,
he was.
indeed.
And I love that show as well.
Of course,
Wow.
yeah, we all do. So you mentioned there, sort of, you're well into the swing of your career by then. But between, am I right, ballet school and a sort of your second bloom, as it were, you took up a career in retail.
I did. I worked at Liberties as a float. So I think they were lovely. Liberties has always been of itself. It has always had a unique quality to it. As we know, it's an emporium.
Yeah.
They don't call it a shop. It's an emporium.
Yes.
And it has a long history of imports. They used to bring in all kinds of beautiful objects from around the world. And for a reason that I really couldn't tell you, my parents had very sadly given up the thought of my ever going to uni.
Right.
I never went to university.
Yeah.
And I should have. And I would say to anybody who's considering a theatrical career, go to university, because I've noticed a lot of the really good, talented younger people have gone to uni. This is something that I'm seeing a lot. They've studied whatever it is, English, literature or whatever, and then they become an actor.
That's
they go then
true.
to drama school or they go straight, whatever.
Yeah.
And because I didn't do that, I learned to keep house. So the only thing was that after 2 years of not having any work and not going to drama school, who actually turned me down, Central School of Speech and Drama, would not accept me because I'd already worked professionally.
Oh, okay.
And because you couldn't in those days attend college and also work if the opportunity came up, if you wanted to do a TV show or whatever.
I see.
They wouldn't let you off, so they said,
I see.
fair enough. They
Yeah,
said, no,
yeah.
we think you're not for us, you just go ahead and do your thing.
And you showed them, after all.
Well, did I? I didn't learn to fence,
Yes.
which I think is
I
an
mean,
appalling
yes,
thing. I didn't ever learn
absolutely.
to fence. And I was in film with Malcolm McDowell,
Oh, yeah.
where all these wonderful young actors had to be fencing and using swords, and I felt so
Yes.
left out.
Oh,
I couldn't do it.
No, it's a shame.
It's good fun.
Oh.
I used to do it at school, not for very long.
Did you?
Yes, my school offered fencing lessons briefly. So.
Well.
There you go,
I
that's a
think
fab fact about
it's
me.
really good because it keeps you limber and you have to use the strength of your arm to
Yeah.
use.
Yes.
Those swords, especially the prop swords, are
Oh,
incredibly heavy,
That's
I
right.
gather.
Right. There you go. So
Right.
that sort of hiatus wasn't a conscious moving away from the business then. It was just...
No, there was nothing.
Yeah, it was just nothing, so-
my father was still an agent. He was my
Yeah.
agent, but there was nothing that came up in those 2 years.
Yeah.
But I could cook for 4 people, and I knew how to do all the laundry, and I think that stood me in very good stead as well.
Quite right too. It's time for another Anderson connection, but
good.
this is one for you to work out, Ros. So this is a clip from UFO 1969. Wanda Ventham, you've spotted there.
There's Patrick Allen.
Yeah, that's Patrick Allen.
So his wife, Sarah Lawson, played my mother, one of my many mothers in my life, in The Devil Rides Out.
Ah.
And she was I was so blessed. All the women who played my mother through my career, look at this.
Oh, no, look at the size of that gun. You see, to my generation, sadly, he's really known as the voice of Barrett Holmes. Isn't that terrible?
Well, and Domestos.
Oh, right.
It was all known Germans
Dead. Yes, that's right.
as if there were any other way to
Yes. But Patrick Allen, I think, also, according to IMDb, so take this with a pinch of salt, also supplied an uncredited voice for The Devil Rides Out.
Yes,
Ah.
that's my understanding.
So there you go.
Yep.
So look at this. This is... I love that.
Goodness.
Oh, damn it. Run out of bullets.
It's amazing how one of the most popular episodes of UFO culminates in a go-kart race, and somehow it works.
It does.
Sarah Lawson, you've mentioned.
Yes.
Now, here she is in, as you say, The Devil Rides Out. You also spoke to me earlier about a series of sort of famous mothers. Elizabeth Taylor, you mentioned earlier.
Yes, so it's fascinating how things sort of, what goes around comes around in a way. But the other thing I will say is that from the 1950s, I think, to the 70s, the pool here in the UK was so small.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, there weren't that many. There were 4 child actors who worked regularly. I was one of them.
Yeah.
There were only so many actresses in this period. Nairi Dawn Porter had come to prominence. There was, people who were, I mean, there were 2 or 3 actresses, and I think that was it. There was no sort of, 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 there was no sort of always to be used, always sort of in either a television play of the month or you saw them in some, but it wasn't feature film. And none of these people necessarily ended up working in the States. Jeremy Brett was one of the few male actors, aside from Burton, who went in the later years and was able to forge a very strong career in the States. He did a lot of miniseries and, play various different TV roles and films, mini-films. But it always amazes me that how beautiful she is.
Yeah.
And I know they had kids, so I think she probably decided that, they would work, she would work when she could, he would work when he could.
Right.
And she was very protective of me because there was a huge scene at the end of The Devil Rides Out with a lot of fire involved. And the set was on fire. I mean, the set was partially on fire. And she really took care of my mother was sort of my chaperone sitting on the side, but she was the nearest one in case anything had happened. And she holds on to me. You can see in that scene, she is really taking care of me. And that was real. She was quite concerned that something would happen or that I'd be scared.
Yes.
Because I was only 7.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. That's sweet.
How many times do you think the Pinewood Fire Brigade had to be called to do all these fires and stand by? Yes.
Well, there is a story of a fire during a production of an Anderson episode at Pinewood.
Ah.
This is on an episode called Catacombs of the Moon.
Yeah.
Yes, where Pamela Stevenson was in bed and surrounded by fire. And that got a bit out of hand.
The Pamela Stevenson.
The Pamela Stevenson.
The one
yes.
Well,
only.
yeah.
The 9 o'clock news and other things. Yes.
Great.
And this fire got out of hand, and I believe it shut down production for a couple of days.
I see.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But this, of course, wasn't your only brush with horror. So Andy Boyd said on our Gerry Anderson Facebook page, Rosalyn was first class in Hammer House of Horror's Guardian of the Abyss.
Yes, so that was... There's a period that we've skipped through, which I'll just address very quickly.
Yes,
So
please
when
do.
I was 12, I was cast to play one of 2 daughters of Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor, and it was a two-parter that Burton had signed with Harlech Television that he would come back because they weren't allowed to be on British soil as a couple because of taxes. They could not come and be here for a length of time to make a film.
I see.
So this was a film that he'd promised to do for Harlech, and they had a writer that he'd approved, and he plays the husband, she's the wife, and they are getting a divorce, which they got quite used to doing
there we
in
go,
their
yes.
real life. And it was shot in Germany. We went to Munich to the Bavaria Filmplatz.
Oh, yeah.
And I played the oldest daughter. Kenneth Griffith's daughter played my little sister. And there was a wonderful actor called Bono Colino, who was an American actor that came over here and worked and did American films. And his son Mark played my older brother. So we had 3 actors' children in this piece.
Yes.
So all very well behaved. We all know how to behave ourselves. We're all quiet on set. And Elizabeth and Richard individually, we had scenes, all 3 of us had scenes with them, either with them together or with each one of them, depending on which part of the story we were in. And Richard, this was good. The first day I was meant to work with Richard, he had been up all night watching the All Blacks were beaten by the Welsh.
Right. Okay.
So he had enjoyed himself
I'm sure.
tremendously.
Yeah.
And he had a very dear friend called Brooke Williams. And Brooke was Emlyn Williams' son. Emlyn was obviously an amazing Welsh actor.
Yeah.
And Burton became best friend. He would be his stand-in. He would travel with them and just was a bestie, as we like to call it now. And it was Brooke who came and worked with me so that I didn't actually turn up for no reason on the set. Brooke came out and he said, Richard is not very well, so he said, I'm going to work with you, I'm going to rehearse.
I see.
So he very kindly did the whole scene with me that I'm going to be doing hopefully the next day with Richard. And again, lovely man. And said, don't do it because I'm doing the whole thing and I'm crying and shrinking. And he said, keep it all in, keep it, don't give it all to
Very
me. He said,
good.
wait for Richard. And then And I didn't get to meet Richard till the following day. And all I remember is there was a front door and he opens the door and he comes in and I come round a corner and they wouldn't let me see him till the moment they started recording the scene. and I come round the corner and I look at him, and all I can tell you is he had a force field. I mean, literally, as a person, there was a whoosh of energy that just came if you worked with him. And I just started going, go away, go away. And I'm 12, 13.
Right.
And all I could imagine was that this was my real dad. I really hated him. So that was sort of all coming up inside, and I'm giving this, giving. And he literally, I think in the shot itself, you see he actually pulls back a bit.
Yeah.
And so we do this, and then they do the reverse. So that was, they did the whole thing, and then they did his shot, then the reverse on me.
Yeah.
And I think it took about half an hour. And at the end of that, he said, "We are going to lunch."
Okay.
Out of nowhere, so everybody's going, "Don't go, they're leaving."
Yeah.
And came up to me, took my hand. My mum's going, picking all her stuff up.
Yeah.
And he takes me to, off the set, to a building that is just a big square concrete building with a door, and you go in, and they had, as a sort of gift to the Burtons, they had given them this place to live in. They built it for them to be in while we filmed, which of course they never did anything with.
Yeah.
And he took me upstairs, and my mum's following, and there are two little dogs, and they're going like this and following up. He was so drunk that when he sat down at the table, because that's where we were going to have lunch, and they had somebody, chef, I presumed, we got served a lunch.
Yeah.
And he picked up a packet of cigarettes, and they all fell out. He could not find that. And talked to me, told me about acting, said, "It's all about here." And he said, "If you can't make it real, they won't believe it."
Yeah.
And a lot of sort of acting things.
Yeah.
And was very complimentary about me as a child actor.
Yeah.
And spoke to my mum, and then he found out that he'd worked with my dad. So that was lovely. And in the middle of all of this, the phone rings, and he picks it up, because of course there's no cell phones.
Of course, yeah.
Phone picks it up, he goes, yes, and hands it to me, and he said, "It's Elizabeth." And I'm sitting there thinking, now what do I do?
The most famous woman in the world.
Most famous woman in the world. And which is actually to say, nobody has ever impressed me ever since.
Yeah.
Because
Where'd you go from there?
And she's asking me, is he drunk? Which was, it was actually a very interesting moment, because I had hung around a lot of actors in my life. By then I had known many, my dad's clients. I'm not suggesting they're
all drunks.
Yeah. No. But there was just this, I had an understanding that as a profession it was merry and you had fun.
Yeah.
And I think it was a moment when, because I was so honest and quiet about it, and I just remember saying, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, honey, thank you." And I handed back the phone.
Wow.
And he said goodbye.
Yeah.
And she was obviously, she really loved him.
Yeah.
And it was evident to me there was something in that moment of pain and deep love and affection, but they were both, they were so mutually destructive.
Exactly right.
And both so talented. But he had that amazing ability to react to people as he found them. And if you truly were of the craft, and if you truly could give back in the way that, when we both know, it's when you work with people who truly are good at what they do.
Yeah.
You get that.
Wow.
And the audience gets it.
Amazing.
And I think that's what he was trying to say to me. Don't, if you fall out of love with doing this, don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because they know.
Yes. Now, there's a couple of things that, if I don't mention them, our viewers and listeners will lynch me. So we have to talk about, of course, this is one of my favourite photographs ever from this, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. There you are with Jeremy Brett and David Burke. There's another Anderson connection here. David Burke, who played Dr. Watson, was in a Space Precinct episode.
He was. That's the show you were in.
Really?
Seek and Destroy, I think.
Yes.
Vashel.
It was Vashel, the alien, yes.
But this was the first series, I think, wasn't it? Speckled Band. As a huge Jeremy Brett fan, I have to ask, what was it like working on The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes with him?
It was a dream. It's one of my favourite remembrances and experiences was working with both David, whose son is now, of course,
Yes.
fully
That's right.
in his career.
Yes.
Playing the lead in Strike.
Tom
He's got
Burke,
his-
I think
Tom
that's
Burke,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a famous mummy, beautiful mummy.
Ah, right.
And she actually is in Strike. They gave her one of the storylines that she plays in. It's lovely. It's lovely seeing.
Rather nice.
And
Rather,
Wanda's been in
Sherlock. That's right.
And Dad.
That's
Timothy.
right. Exactly, playing Sherlock's parents.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned David Burke being in Space Precinct. Jeremy Brett was in an Anderson show as well.
Was he now?
Yes,
Which
he
one?
was. He was in The Protectors.
Ah, right.
Oh, God, I love that too.
He
I
kidnapped
love
Robert
that
Vaughan's
show.
son. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the other thing I have to mention, of course, is Star Trek Next Generation. We've mentioned it a couple of times already in the interview. We have a message from our Facebook group. I remember being so surprised, says Alan Collins, to suddenly see Rosalyn in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Great to see her in this episode.
Oh, thank you, Alan.
So obviously this was the time you were in the States.
Yes.
Obviously. And, I mean, it's a typical question. How did this come about?
Auditioning. I got down to the final 3, and the casting director had seen something I'd done in the UK.
Ah,
And there were 2, sort of the major issue for this was, could I do a Maureen O'Hara accent?
right.
Because I'm Irish in this.
Ah. What was it, Brina O'Dell, I think?
Yes.
is the-
Brenna O'Dell.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
And it was see, there were the earrings. So I think I've
Oh,
explained to you
Go
before.
on. I like this story.
I had been told by the costume designer that I couldn't wear any jewellery. And I had this pair of earrings that I loved and I thought were quite sort of spacey looking, you know, sort of whatever. And she very kindly said that she would consult with Roddenberry because he had laid down this dictum that he believed nobody in these centuries to come
Yeah. Would wear jewellery.
would not be a
Right.
thing because it betokened your status in life.
Ah,
and
yes.
he didn't, and he thought everybody would be sort of equal.
Yes.
So, which is funny because you think about it, none of the crew ever take over the role from, you know, Patrick.
Oh no,
or
there's
any
very
of the
definitely a
old-
hierarchy
yes,
there,
so-
isn't there?
yes, so
Some are more
I-
equal than others, you might say.
Very much so. And he agreed. And the only reason he agreed to let me wear them was because he felt that as the character did not come from a starship situation and was of gypsy origin,
Yeah.
as he put it,
Yeah.
that it would be fine. She would naturally wear jewellery where he didn't really want me to be wearing necklaces or bracelets,
Right.
but earrings. And he actually had to come and inspect to see that they were. They took pictures of
Great.
the costumes and he took a look. And
I
he said, yeah, that's
see.
fine. So I think I was the first person of that generation
Yeah,
of Star Trek
yeah.
that had been allowed to wear jewellery.
I love the idea of space earrings.
Yes.
It's great, isn't it?
Yes.
And the idea of the executive producer having to come down and check.
And
Yeah.
yes, and a check, and it was okay. Yeah.
Now, so we've seen, you know, just in the last 2 or 3 minutes, there's 2 examples there, sort of period drama and then futuristic sort of sci-fi. From an acting point of view, are they one and the same? Or
Yes, I think you inhabit. It is the character. There is a very interesting story which my family would attest to, and that is that at some point when I was younger, I had been watching Star Trek because we watched it as a family,
Yes, of course.
the original.
Yes.
And apparently I said, one day I'd like to be on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
Ha! Ta-da!
And I did. So
Amazing.
I had a sort of foreshadowing of the fact that I would end up. And it was so exciting. So when I went to audition and I had been given the sort of what the character was about and all the rest of it, and yes, I could do the Irish accent. And I decided, having watched these 2 beautiful women wearing high heels and having been sewn into the dresses they wore for their 2 auditions, watched them go in. I was the last one in. And I was wearing a sort of rather flowy gypsy-style dress,
Yeah.
because I thought that'd be good.
Yeah.
And I had shoes on. And I thought, they look so gorgeous and they're very glam. But if I take my shoes off, I walked in with no shoes on.
Very good.
And I am convinced to this day that
Yes.
the reason I got the role was because I didn't have shoes on.
Yeah, how interesting with a momentary decision like that.
She really has this character.
Yeah,
She really gets it.
that's right. I bet you just take the shoes off, yeah. Other credits of yours. We have other comments on our Facebook page. Graham Burdis says, I fell head over heels for Rosalyn when I went on a school Christmas trip to see the amazing Mr. Blunden. Lol. Michael Deal, I recently saw her in the original Amazing Mr. Blunden on telly in Australia. So how amazing is that your work has such longevity that people are able to pick it up now many years later?
It's all to do with time and space. And this is why this made such, I think, a mark on television history, is because it fell in a period where the space race, we've discussed this before, where the space race was the overwhelming. We didn't have wars that were, this was the big news, was getting to the moon.
Yeah.
And I think all of these futuristic, I will put it that nasty moniker on it, but anything futuristic held promise. This was potentially Star Trek the same.
Yeah.
It was a world at a time and space when everybody would be level.
Yeah.
The playing field would be level. Everybody could be who they wanted, and we'd have visitors from other planets, and we'd live side by side with people except the Klingons.
Obviously.
And of course, all of these things are of their time. The Amazing Mr. Blunden, although it's shown at Christmas, was actually released at Easter.
Okay, right.
And we had an extraordinary cast. Again, all these wonderful actors from 50s into 60s, a lot of character actors. And amazingly, Lionel Jeffries, who directed it,
that's right,
had the idea to bring it from a book to film.
Yeah.
And used buddies. He had his friends, which was lovely. So David Lodge, who was just one of the best character actors, did a lot of the Pink Panther films.
Oh, yes.
I think it's because he was the only one who could put up with working with Peter Sellers.
Right.
And all the outtakes from those were amazing.
Yeah.
But we were the follow-up to The Railway Children.
Oh, yes.
So he had directed The Railway Children.
Yeah.
And that was set in Victorian times. That film had been the family film for all time.
Yeah.
And he was looking for something a little darker to do as a follow-up film. And so it hit again at a time when family values were changing here a lot. And the feel-good stuff was not about... We had a lot of very modern... We'd had the kitchen sink drama films.
I see.
The Tom Courtneys and the Albie Finneys.
Yes,
and
which
all
was a
those
revolution
people.
in a way, wasn't it?
Total. And so to have a family film, which in that period of about 3 or 4 years, there were hardly any family films.
Yeah.
And that was what Lionel was all about.
Great.
Family and, you know, all of this. And I think it's such a story of redemption. It is, which of course the Railway Children to some degree, as the father gets exonerated and, you know, all the rest of it.
That's it.
And I think that Blunden hit quite a few, or it ticked a few boxes in terms of somebody who goes out of his way as a ghost to come back and redress the wrongs that have been done.
Yeah.
So there's that whole thing of redemption.
Yeah.
And a lot of character acting.
Yeah.
And people
wonderful.
acted their socks off in that film.
Yeah.
For characters.
Yeah, lovely.
And we had a wonderful time. More Fire Brigade.
Of course.
Of course. Made at Pinewood.
Right.
Huge set. The whole set had to be put onto, you know, into flames.
Yeah.
And that was...
Yeah.
Wow, that was a good day.
Amazing.
That was a good day.
Now, we have some questions in our Space 1999 lunchbox from our viewers and listeners. So, if you can reach into there, Ros, take out a big old handful and we'll get through them all, or as many as you can take out. That's it. Now, would you like me to read them for you? Or got them? Great. Thank you, Chris. Our beautiful assistant. Yes, please do.
There's one left.
Go on, then.
It's a pity to leave.
Right, let's see how many of these we get through. So, Emily Davis says, Hi, Rosalind. Did you watch any Anderson shows during your childhood? And if so, what is your favourite and why did you like it?
Yes, of course.
So
and
we've
we've
that
covered
bit.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
I think we've done that. And I think, it's a tough call between Thunderbirds and live action, which is UFO.
Okay.
But UFO I really love.
Yeah, yeah. Any particular characters that sort of spring to mind? Or was it, or was it all about Ed Bishop, or was it...
No, I just think it was this sense of having... I told you, as a child, I loved anything mechanical.
Yeah.
So the thing of the whole room disappearing down in
Oh,
UFO,
yeah,
where
that's it,
he walks into an office and suddenly the room's...
That's great, isn't
I
it?
loved all of that.
Which is very much a holdover from the puppet shows, if you think about
Yeah.
it, because
Yes.
they can't walk or can't go downstairs. He
Ah.
can,
But they still...
they still do it anyway.
That's
yes.
right,
And
yeah.
I love the bit with Thunderbirds where the boys go to change.
Of course.
And all these
get
things
the
in
craft.
the pool, which everybody, the big thing I think for everybody is the pool being
Yes.
pulled back and Thunderbird one coming
Which, of
up.
course, Nick Park sort of homaged in his Wallace and Gromit films.
I don't know that.
Oh, you must watch Wallace and Gromit.
Right, okay.
Oh, dear.
You must.
Certainly that.
John Stock says, "Hi, Rosalyn. Thanks for joining us. Did you enjoy working with Patrick Stewart and the cast of The Enterprise? And also, you were in The Devil Rides Out. Do you enjoy sci-fi cult programs?
Yes.
Uh,
Cult, I'm not sure what he means by cult.
Yeah, I suppose genre,
Sci-fi, definitely, yes.
horror,
Yeah.
Fantasy, that kind of thing. Is it
Yes.
something you gravitate
Yes,
towards
I
watching
mean,
yourself?
yes, I think that I like everything to do with what's possible.
Yeah.
I think that's partly what is so amazing. You look at something and you think it's like the film with the mermaid and Tom Hanks,
Yes.
Daryl Hannah,
Absolutely.
and the idea that you would ever meet a mermaid, you know, and what would happen if you did, and if she
Yeah.
was caught and put in a tank in New York, and then what, you know,
Yeah, that's great.
That's what is possible.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Anthony says, "Dear Rosalyn, you have an impressive resume of work." And you do.
Okay.
Including several audiobooks.
Yes.
How many? When you worked on Sherlock Holmes and Star Trek, did they know that they were creating iconic shows, or was it organised chaos? Maybe you should narrate an Anderson story sometime.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I think, talking of Sherlock Holmes, they had developed before we started work on that, but of course they added to it monumentally
Yes.
as the episodes went on. They had a Bible
Yes.
that Jeremy
right.
insisted that was put together
Mhm.
so that they could remember which pipe he'd used,
Yeah.
anything to do with the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Props, things
Yeah.
like that, all got written down.
Yeah.
Which I think's been covered in
Yeah,
a couple of documentaries.
Absolutely, that's right. And do
So,
you know,
yes.
was it the intention then to do the whole canon at that point?
Yes.
Yeah, which they
Yeah.
almost did, I think, yeah. James Beach, do you think you can call Jonathan Frakes to join the podcast at a later
Oh, wouldn't that
date?
be lovely? No, I think you could, probably, yes.
I mean, obviously that would be great because, as we say, he directed the Thunderbirds live action film in
Yes.
2004.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I think you need to go to LA to do
Yeah.
that.
Jonathan Bell says, "What was it like working with Edward Woodward and Malcolm McDowell on the film Merlin and the Sword?" So many
Which
great
is possibly
credits.
one of the worst films ever made.
Right.
And we went to Dubrovnik, which was not
Yeah.
worst. That was
Yeah,
beautiful,
sure.
beautiful city. Edward Woodward told the best, aside from Leo McKern, I think Edward Woodward was the best theatrical storyteller. All his stories, all his experiences, and he would make them just so funny. Wonderful
Great.
storyteller.
Ah,
Yeah.
very
A
sweet.
lovely actor, lovely man.
And finally, Steve Bushell says, "Hello, Rosalyn. Apart from meeting Richard James and the team, have you ever been starstruck?" Please, please. I mean, you've worked with so many big names. Were there any that sort of left you speechless, or are you professional enough to put that to one side?
I think probably, well, Christopher Lee was in The Devil Rides Out.
Yes.
I didn't have a lot of interaction with him.
Yeah.
Which would have been, I mean, looking back,
Yeah.
what an amazing story his life was.
Yes.
So my interaction with him purely was that he taught me yoga.
Okay. Wow.
It was the day that the set was going to be set on fire. See, two films.
There
I
we
was in
go.
where everything
There's a theme
ends up as a
developing here.
conflagration. Yep.
Just make
Perfect
sure
for
that
the
fire
Gerry
extinguisher is
podcast,
standing by, Ross. Yeah.
So that was my sort of moment with Christopher Lee. Was
Right.
that he sat me on the floor and he said, "Have you ever done yoga?" And I said, "No." And we sat down on the floor and he taught me to do the lotus, cross the
What an
legs
image.
and be
That's
calm.
great.
So that was that. I think Taylor and Burton were the
Yeah.
extraordinary moment.
I
of
mean,
my life.
that's amazing.
And I've loved everybody who was ever in anything I was in. They've all been lovely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. There you go.
maybe the exception here or there, one or
Yeah,
two.
sure.
But yes.
Amazing. Let's talk about your voice work then. Providing voices not only for the likes of Big Finish and so on, but for video games. What's that like, creating characters for?
I was very blessed. I got to, when I went to LA and I had these lovely jobs on episodic television, and I think somebody had suggested, because I mimic. And
Yes.
I started mimicking very early. I
Yeah.
started because we would go to Ireland to visit my mother's family.
Yeah.
And in those days, it was London Airport. It wasn't Heathrow
Sure.
then. It was London
Mhm.
Airport. And they had people... I have no idea where these people spoke from, what room, but everything was live. So you'd hear somebody saying, Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The flight from Sweden to and I'd hear all this, and then I'd be playing it back when I got home and playing whatever. And it sort of morphed into just loving accents. I've always liked, because in Northern Ireland they were like that, you know.
Yeah.
And so every time I go there, I'm pet.
Yeah.
And then Scotland, you know, I can do Scotland.
Yes.
And, but I have to play when I'm doing audiobooks, because I play every single character. So I'm doing men.
Wow.
They're in love men, so they're having to sound very sexy.
Wow.
So I have to do this whole range.
Yeah.
And I have played a parrot.
Right.
I've played a dog, a cow. And these are all in serious audio. I mean, I'm not kidding. These were sort of serious romantic books.
Great.
Where suddenly there's a cow that's heard, and the person directing me says, "Oh, go on, do the cow."
Do the cow. While you're here.
And I actually get remarks from people saying, "You give a great cow."
Book up.
Yes. So I think that the evolution that I had into doing voice work per se, and I don't do commercial voice work, and I have only done some video games, but they are all... Disney was a huge thing for me, because I ended up being the voice of the Blue Fairy.
Wow.
But as I've aged, my voice has deepened. Yeah. And it was a very specific voice as well, because she had very strangulated vowels. You go, Pinocchio. So it's like this. I sound a bit like a pigeon.
Oh, sweet.
And that was how I got into voice work, because that's what I was doing. I was doing games for them.
Yeah.
And CD-ROMs and things.
Yeah.
So, Japanese games. They had partnered with quite a few different game companies to produce different Disney games. And so the Blue Fairy was in that. Fascinatingly, if there is such a word, Michael Jackson commissioned Disney to produce, and they were probably about the size of this screen, glass boxes with puppets inside.
Oh, yeah.
Various scenes from various Disney films.
Right.
So the Blue Fairy appears in one box, and
yeah.
she kind of apparently would fly down inside this box, and this was at his ranch.
Mm-hmm. Neverland.
Yes, I think that's where these boxes were.
I see.
And so I had to do voices for that.
Wow.
I don't know what they were. I just know I had to say Pinocchio, like this, and then presumably whatever it was, if they pressed a button, it flew down into the box, and there was Pinocchio's puppet doing whatever. But I think having to do the audiobooks with all these different voices, all the characters, I've voiced probably 1,000 plus.
Extraordinary.
Now, after all the years of doing this.
It's such a skill, Ros. It's amazing.
I don't know. It's. I love the challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a challenge to playing a little 3-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Who's standing beside a lake, and I'm doing the woman's voice and the child's voice, and then the man comes into the scene.
Yes.
And it's challenging.
But to take it seriously as well. That might be a very dramatic scene, so you can't parody.
It's what Burton said. When you stop loving it, they will know. And there are people who just are very half-hearted about it. It's just a book, do it,
Well, it's also a similar thing with the Anderson puppet shows, in that you have a very talented pool of voice artists who very often for a scene would be playing 3 different characters who are all talking to each other, and somehow, for the most part, they make it work, unless they've got a really distinctive voice. David Graham in particular.
Because he had a theatrical career, didn't he, as well?
Yes, he did. Yeah, that's right.
He worked with Olivier, which was something he was very proud of. Yeah.
You see, there you go. And this is all this range of people who were diversified and did all the different things as time.
That's right. And you even treated us to your Parker a little earlier on, didn't you? Could you give us a
Penelope.
Yeah.
Lady.
There we go.
And then it goes.
Brilliant. That's it.
Music.
Exactly. Now, rather selfishly, I'm now going to play a clip from Doctor Who and the Brain Drain.
Excellent.
Because I wrote it and you're in it.
Oh, okay.
So this was Big Finish. Some of this you might remember. Lovely Callum Pardo as your son.
It's just another bad dream. The whole of time was my playground. To think I should have fallen so low as the
Tim Law as the third Doctor.
Well, Doctor, as we say here on Earth, like it or lump it.
Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, unit.
If harnessed correctly, this could prove to be the next step in human evolution.
By the end,
He wasn't sure what was real and what was just in his mind.
Did someone say crackpot ideas?
Doctor.
Sounds just like my sort of conversation.
I mean, from my point of view, that was a dream come true. To have written the Doctor Who.
And then... all loved that episode. You know that.
Well, you were fantastic at it, and it was a real pleasure to sit in that gallery and just listen.
But didn't you see the joy? I mean, we all had such a good time.
And that is key, isn't it? It felt... Big Finish, I mean, I know you've done a lot of work for them. They feel something like a family, really, and it's really rather nice. It doesn't feel like work in a way, does it?
And you have, of course, you have a lot of grandchildren.
Yeah.
From very famous actors. We've got Rachel Kempson's granddaughter, who joins you. There are some amazing people in there, and I think it's because we all do it for fun.
Yes, but you seem able to just dip in quite easily into your bag of accents, and it's not something you have to work for, is it?
It's something. If you have a particular talent or a joy in doing something, I love doing voice work.
Yeah.
I think because it allows you to not be you.
Yeah.
And we're all in search, when we're acting, we're all in search of a character. We're all, it's something that you can't do in real life. I can't say to somebody, Action Man Patrol. I can't do that.
But you're given license as an actor. Absolutely right.
Yeah, and you wrote so many great scenes for that particular episode. There's a lot of drama.
Yeah, that's right.
So we all had a lot of fun doing
that's very sweet. I'm glad I put that in now. Yes. You see?
What were the chances of this without watching the interview?
Now, Rosalyn, we have to ask you to do a very important thing, and that is to choose for us an episode from a Gerry Anderson series to watch together in a couple of weeks' time.
Right.
And you do that by pressing the big red button there and activating the randomizer. So if you could just hold that up. By the way, I've just noticed we haven't even cracked open that box of...
No, that's...
We'll do that as we watch the episode. So if you could just hold that up a little so we can see it. Excellent. And give it a press and we'll see what you choose. Well done. Here it is on the screen. So we're scrolling through every one of Gerry's series. Let's see how far we get. Past Thunderbirds. Past Captain Scarlet and Joe 90.
Still going.
Wow, we're going deep. Protectors.
Okay.
Well, what are the chances? We're watching an episode of Space 1999.
Brilliant.
That is, if you'll join us.
I would love to join.
That's right. Chris, what are we watching?
Well, we're watching... This may influence Rosalyn's decision to stay with us.
Yes.
It's an episode from the second season.
Okay, right.
It's one we mentioned earlier. It's Catacombs of the Moon.
Yes.
For those who don't know, this was Gerry and Sylvia's this was their final series together.
Yes.
Sylvia had left by the second season, and this series kind of was born out of the desire to do a second series of UFO. When that was given the old axe, they decided to repackage what they'd done, make a new series, and Space 1999 was
Space 1999. Now, over on IMDb, it's got an average score of 5.3 out of 10. Here's a typical review.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 for this one, yes. I did not find much that was wrong with this story, although there was some dumb dialogue maybe once, along with a typical upbeat conclusion and a joke which actually jars with the rest of the episode, which is much denser. The final attempt at an explanation is particularly poor. That aside, it all worked for me.
Well,
so that's
glad
something to
about
look
that,
forward to,
yes.
isn't it? And before we sit down and watch the episode, Chris has got a fab fact for us.
Ooh. Okay.
Just like this.
Now, time for Fab Facts.
Chris.
Yes, Richard. Hello.
Over to you.
We've discussed before the circumstances behind Barry Morse's departure from Space 1999.
That's the only thing I do know about. Yes, that's right.
Oh, right.
What do you know of Barry Morse? You remember him?
Wonderful actor.
Yeah.
Wonderful character actor.
Yeah, that's
Look
right.
at him.
Yeah.
So you've seen some of Space 1999, but not all.
Yes, but not all. No.
Have you seen any of the second series?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, you're going to be disappointed because there is no Barry Morse.
We're heading into
Yes,
spoiler
because
territory.
I think I'm going to say something.
Yes.
I'm assuming he left the series because he just couldn't deal with what was going on.
Chris?
Is
It
that partly
seems
it?
to have been partly the creative redirection in the going into the second series, and partly a financial thing. And at the very last minute, he did sort of go back to them and say, "Okay, I'll take the lesser offer." And they replied to him, "Actually, our plans have changed and we're going to proceed without you." So he very nearly got into the second series. But in terms of an explanation for the character's departure between seasons, which there was none on screen.
He just disappears.
He just disappears between series, but...
Doesn't this happen?
Yes.
But we have previously discussed the fact that his death had been written into a scene that was shot for the first episode of the second season, which was cut. In case you missed that Fab Fact, beloved fan favourite Victor Bergman suffocated to death in a faulty spacesuit between seasons. So,
charming.
Now you know. But
isn't that charming?
As it's not mentioned, we don't count it.
Okay.
Forget about that.
Fine.
However,
theatrical deaths are quite fascinating.
Yeah.
There's quite a range.
Absolutely. So suffocated to death.
Yes.
Okay.
But today's episode, Catacombs of the Moon, also made mention of the departed Victor Bergman, at least in the original script.
Right.
There is a subplot in this episode involving Pamela Stevenson's character, Michelle Osgood. There she is.
Look at baby.
I know.
Needing an artificial heart. So Dr. Russell is trying to build her one using the schematics designed by a scientist named Dorfman. However, in the original script, it wasn't the Dorfman mechanical heart they were trying to recreate.
Right.
It was Victor Bergman's mechanical heart. And they would have referenced the fact that he had unfortunately died.
Suffocated in the meantime.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, this was changed to Dorfman for the final episode, but kept as Victor Bergman in the novelisation of this episode, which appeared in that seminal work of English literature, Mind Breaks of Space.
Now, don't worry, Ros, we won't be asking questions later.
I am terminally confused at this point.
Plough on, Chris. Plough on.
All will be revealed.
Yes. And sub-fab fact here, also scripted to appear in this episode was actor John Hugg in his regular supporting role of Eagle pilot Bill Fraser.
Oh, yeah. Yeah?
He appeared, it's so funny that there he is. I believe he appeared in a series called The Cedar Tree.
Oh, yes.
Which was a John Galsworthy type, sort of set in the 30s, it was sort of between wars.
Yeah.
And he played a Welsh professor.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I remember it.
How funny.
And because I have that on.
Yes.
DVD.
Well, there we
it's
are.
a series that not a lot of people watch, but
No.
in that 2 years when I didn't work
Yeah.
before I started back into doing TV,
Yeah.
I had spare time.
Yes.
And in those days, ITV, and I'm sure a lot of the people who are going to be watching this will remember this, Crown Court came on after the news.
Crown Court.
And then there was episodic something. So if it wasn't Quincy...
Oh, yeah,
which was
that's right.
That series, it wasn't an American import.
Petrocelli.
All of those.
Cannon.
I should remember that, yes.
How funny.
And he was in The
I
Cedar
don't know
Tree. The
that,
Cedar
right.
Tree was a beautiful series and it went on for quite some time.
Okay.
He's also in a Crown Court that's on YouTube.
Oh, no. So obviously that was his time frame.
Yes.
Except this
Peak John Hugg, yeah, that's right.
However, having spent all this time talking about John Hugg,
Yes.
he doesn't appear in this episode.
Oh.
Because it was being filmed at the same time as another episode, the A.B. Chrysalis, which
Right.
was also needed for. So instead, John Hugg's lines went to actor Alan Hunter instead. And the character's name was changed from Bill Fraser to Bill.
Right.
Because there was an actor called Bill Fraser. I'm sure
yes,
that there would have been a
right.
problem with...
Well, he's called Bill Fraser throughout the series.
Oh, is he?
I
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't available, so this
He
guy
wasn't
steps in.
available, and they just, I mean, I imagine they literally just put a pen through the word Fraser, called it a
Just
day.
Bill.
Yeah. This, for all we know, this could be the same character. I don't
He
think they
does
put that
not
much
look
work into
unlike
it.
Robin Asquith.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this
I can see that.
photograph. A bit.
Yes, I can see that. Absolutely
So
right.
that was this week's Suffocated to Death in a
Yes.
Spacesuit Fab Fact.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
We made it to
Yes,
the end, Ross.
we made it.
Congratulations on surviving a Fab Fact.
Yes.
So,
Not many
Since you threw me out of a window, I didn't think, what did I fall from in my episode?
you fell from a castle turret,
Yes,
I
I
think,
did.
to your death in brain drain.
Yes.
Sorry
See,
about
I don't even
that.
have audio death. It's amazing.
Actually, I think that was Nick Briggs's idea. So I can't claim credit
that
for that.
figures.
Yeah, doesn't it? Anyway, all for now. But Ros, thank you so much for joining us
It
this
has
week.
been a pleasure.
Oh no, it's been
Thank
our
you
pleasure.
for asking
It's been
me
really
to.
lovely,
Really
and
loved
we
it.
look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks to watch an episode of Space 1999. See you then.
Please.
1. Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.